Mechanics in the building. Welcome to another video. Super excited for this one. We did a little routine maintenance on the StreetFighter before the season started. Enjoy the video. I think you'll find it useful. We do the Anodized kickstand. We also did the DBK Anodized in red front sprocket cover. Really dope mod. I like it. It adds personality to the StreetFighter. Let's get to it. While we're on this side of the bike, we're gonna quickly do a sprocket change to a DBK special parts. I've kind of preemptively loosened these up a little bit. They're not ridiculously tight. There you go. Doesn't take much to break them loose. Make sure you're seated properly. In some cases, you might have to shift this over the rear set. But the one thing you want to keep in mind when doing this, the two screws, the one at the top is shorter. The one lower is longer. Make sure you get that right. I've seen some people try fitting the longer one up top. It leaves a gap, so heads up. Now, if you guys enjoy these videos, it's always appreciated when you hit the link in the description and shop for them yourself. Motivation is where I get all of my parts for my bikes, and they are a huge supporter of the channel. You get to purchase from them and you see how I install them and you get my actual feedback. Or is it vice versa? Nope, it's not. See? Lower screw is going to be a lot longer, gentlemen. Upper screw is going to be a lot shorter. Quick way to memorize that. All right, let's see if we can shimmy this out. I think you're definitely going to have to break this nut. Oh, maybe we could shimmy it out. Let's see before I start undoing the entire rear set. So let's see if we can. Keep in mind, this is rubber, so it's a little bit more flexible. The new one I'm putting on is not, so I might still have to pull off the rear set. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to break this loose so we can just rotate it a little bit. 12 mil slight. Not gonna do too much. Don't want to leak. Slight rotate. There we go. Came right out. Took a little bit of shimmying. It would mean the world to me if you guys hit the link in the description. Go to Motivation and shop for those parts. Hit them up. Let them know you're coming from this video. It helps tremendously. Okay, now we're just gonna clean this up though before we do anything. Only thing I want to keep in mind here, guys, I don't know if I'll be able to put in the new sprocket in without having to loosen the rear set, but we'll find out in a minute. These are areas you're never going to go back into, so it's kind of nice to keep things tidy. So there are these two little bumpers on the OEM plastic. You're going to pull those out. Let's see if you kind of get those out safely. Perfect, got one out. Perfect. Now we're gonna take that same little bracket. There you go, second one in. Perfect. So you're encountering one little issue here. This little metal plate needs to be shifted down. You want to loosen this bolt right down here. That's a 5. Make sure you're seated. There you go. Now that's a little bit loose, we're just going to do a dry fit. Super important you do this for a couple of reasons. One, you can adjust it to where you want it. I've seen where people install this. This is floating slightly. So you don't want it to float. You want to make sure that the holes are aligned properly. Here's something that's important to know. In some scenarios, depending on the bike, you might not need to twist the clutch sleeve. All right, so let's throw on that small little bracket at the bottom. You're gonna take the longer screw. This is in case if you had like a chain guard, you could put this on, but it's not a complete necessity. We're gonna do it anyway just so we can have the bike back the way it was. I'm gonna slide that at the very bottom. Perfect, just like that. Then we're going to take, again, the long screw, guys. we go. If you do happen to loosen the bolt slightly, even though if it's a little bit, you're gonna have to bleed your clutch brake. It's gonna allow air into the system. My clutch felt a little bit different by the time I was done, so be mindful if you have to loosen the clutch sleeve cylinder. Air pockets will go into the system. You will have to bleed it to make sure that it's nice and tight. So heads up. I'm not sure how much of a need that is to put down here. If you're not putting the chain guard at the bottom, I don't think you need this. Keeps that cable down. Okay, so we're gonna keep that there. Lightly screw that in. You're not tightening anything down yet, just like that. Looks good. Then we're gonna take our higher screw up here. Same thing. No real force. Perfect. That looks good. Check the bottom. Down here. Perfect. We have a trio of DBK red down here, which I like a lot. And then, of course, this is perfectly fine. So the general rule of thumb, anything between 5, like an M5 bolt, 5 to 6 Newton meters on a 5mm nut. So I have a small torque wrench here, not a huge one. Make sure you're seated properly, and we'll try to get it, not even a lot, more or less. So same thing we're gonna do up here. Just make sure it's seated properly. It's supposed to be 6, so since, you know, don't have 6 access, we're just gonna spin it just a tad bit more. So basically hand tight, guys, nothing crazy. Initially, I thought I needed to remove the rear set. As I started removing components after components, I realized I didn't have to. So heads up, don't go super deep into it, removing everything until you know you have to. However, there is a C gasket that's in between the engine and the front sprocket. You will need to loosen that up slightly to give you a little bit of play so you can adjust the DBK Anodized front sprocket cover. And for back here, it's supposed to be the same thing. This is a similar situation here. Just make sure you're seated properly. 5 Newton meters, nothing crazy. Great. I wanted the StreetFighter to be streamlined. There's a flow of black and red that's flowing through the bike. I want that to continue. And there's like a pin, a screw pin that goes in. It anchors the spring. That tends to be a little bit tight. Make sure your M4 is seated properly before you start cranking. I almost stripped mine. Fortunately for me, my buddy Jojo was here. He managed to help me out in making sure that it comes out complete and without causing any more damage.
No, that's not the right size.
It's a 4.
That's too much leverage for something that tight. It's a 4?
Yeah. I think I stripped it.
No, just leave it on.
Thought it would be easier to do it with it on.
That's a 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a 4 I had in there.
Yeah, it was just stripped a little bit.
Yep, because I stuck this 4 in and it wasn't all the way like a dumbass.
So what we can do is have something for me to hit it.
Like
a hammer, a small hammer, a mallet.
I have mallet.
You don't have anything stronger than a mallet?
course, I had to strip one thing.
Yeah, because this is, when you have that, you don't want to use this because this has too much leverage. You know what I mean? Especially when you can't see it. So when you could see something, it's always better to see it versus do it from blind side. Because you don't know if you have it seated properly, if you don't know if you have it like this way, like that. So if you could get something off and then hold on to it and see exactly where it is, it's always better to do it. And you don't want this much leverage. And when you were doing it, you had it up, right? And then you were doing it at an angle. So you could be turning it at an angle.
And not spotting it.
Yes, and not spotting it. So if you could get it off the bike, it's always better to do it off the bike. It's okay now, but we just gotta hit this in there. And
I might have I have a dead blow. Would that do the trick?
yeah.
You guys have made it this far into the video, and you guys know what I always ask. Hit that thumbs up, drop a comment if that's too much for you. Hit up an emoji in the comment section. It helps tremendously. And if you want to support what I do here on the channel, go into the link, shop at Motivation. These guys are a huge part of my brand, part of my channel, and they're very important to me. They've been supporting me from day one. Sweet.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks good. In black.
A little dab of Loctite in the back and you're good. You can put it on the nut.
Nope. It's getting tight. Question is how tight?
It'll tighten to a point where you can go further. Like it'll be tight. I'll check. I can check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Sweet.
Yeah. Now just the pin and that's it.
I'm gonna put Loctite on the pin too.
Now you want to put Loctite because that comes loose.
It has a little play in it though. That's normal, right?
Yeah, that's normal.
So what's the difference between powder coating and anodized?
Powder coating, it's a surface layer. It's you spray powder and you bake it and it forms a coating. It forms a color coat on top of the surface. Versus anodizing, you're soaking the metal into a formula.
Okay.
And you're connecting positive and negative, like you're feeding certain voltage of electricity through, and then the metal, it's still on the surface layer, but the metal chemically change color. So it's like dye versus spray paint. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, anodizing is more permanent. Powder coat could chip off. Now that's not to say anodizing it's all the same. Not all anodizing is the same. You do see certain companies anodized part fade, like black will become like orange or greenish. That's the anodizing process. Something wrong, or they didn't seal it. I think after anodized, you have to. There's a sealant process that they have to do. And if they skip and cut costs, then the anodized will fade eventually. And when anodized fade, like red becomes like pink, and like black will have like a green hue to it. Yeah, it just.
I've seen some like cheaper stuff do
Yeah.
that. It's fine.
Yeah. It was tight.
That looks much better. I put Loctite on it anyway.
Yeah. You're good.
And again, always appreciate you guys watching. If you want to support what I do here, go to Motivation. The link's in the description. Shop for your parts there. That's a big deal to me. They've been supporting me for a long time. They've been part of the channel. It's the least I can do, and it's the least that you can do. Catch you guys later. Peace.